Hey, what up, fam? Let me ask you a question. How many of you have ever made a stupid money mistake or got in business with somebody that you absolutely later on regretted? Maybe you trusted the wrong advice, got caught up in the hype, or threw money at something that flopped hard. Yeah? You ain't alone. Well, let me tell you something. The world out here will play you if you don't move in wisdom. You see, God already gave us the blueprint on how to handle our money. But too many of us are just playing checkers out there while the enemy's playing chess. Today, I'm going to show you 3 major money traps that got people broke, and our God's word can help you stay blessed. If you stick with me to the end, I'm going to give you 3 power moves to level up your financial game, so therefore you don't mess things up here going forward. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Let's get this money. Yours dollar bills getting next on out. Let's get this money. One hand better know I'm on it.
What's cracking, everybody? Money Smart Guy Matt Sapaula here, hailing to you from Dallas, Texas, and welcome back to another Faith and Finance episode here on the 7 Figure Squad YouTube channel. By the way, for those of you joining and have been part of this and you haven't watched more of our episodes, you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. We love making sure we bring these episodes for those every week. We do this every Sunday night. So, all right, so look at the Proverbs 14, chapter 15. It says, the simple believe anything, but the prudent give thought to their steps. The translation, stop believing everything you see online. I promise you this. I've been to all the conferences. I get invited as a speaker. I speak in front of tens of thousands of people. And I see who's the actual entrepreneurs and I see who's the one-entrepreneurs. And by the way, don't get it twisted either. Just because somebody has 100,000 in following, 500,000 in following, 1 million people in following, doesn't mean they're rich or they know what they're talking about. Here's the crazy part, what I see online. The crazy part is this. People who are less experienced, have less wisdom, but are great in marketing. There's people out there with less experience, less case studies, trying to figure it out, but they're such good marketers. People are thoroughly convinced they know what they're talking about. And yet, they're bringing you on as a client. You might be the first client of theirs. You might be the second client. I remember there was an example of a guy that, man, I'm going to teach you how to get clients online. I'm going to get you more exposure to your social media channels. I said, no problem. How much are you going to charge me? He goes, $5,000 a month. Okay, $5,000 a month. Show me case studies of people you've actually done this for. You help them get customers, you fill their restaurants, you fill their events, you got the new leads. How did you do it? How did you help people make their money? Well, Matt, slow your roll. You're my first client. What? I'm your first client? Seriously. You're going to come in here and say, you're my first client. You're going to show me how to do all this stuff, and yet you're experimenting on me and you're charging me $5,000 a month to do it? My friend, you're better off doing it for free for me to prove you can do it. And a guy like me, you're biggest flag carrier. I'm going to send you tons of referrals if you say what you're going to do is actually going to be a reality. Let me talk about this guy named Morrison. He's an entrepreneur who started the Tulsa real estate fund. Now, this guy's been a felon. This guy's had his background. And listen, to no judgment to that. I know that a lot of people have been through life and there's been plenty of setbacks I've seen people have success through. But Jay, he raised millions of dollars through the Tulsa real estate fund. He built this thing up as a way for the community to invest in real estate together. He brought a bunch of micro investors here into his fund, and people bought in heavy. He played that well. But here's the problem. He built it not on a solid financial foundation, no real transparency. Folks lost money, and the dream started crumbling. A guy named Julian Gordon kept calling him out. Said, man, the Tulsa real estate fund is going broke. Filed complaints at him. He wouldn't get back, et cetera, et cetera. So, another example, look at what happened to the whole FTX crypto crash. The whole exchange ran by Sam Bankman-Fried. Billions of money was lost because they followed like many people. And by the way, these are smart people that ran hedge funds. Billions of dollars have invested with a hedge fund into FTX. Billions of dollars were invested. You know what? If my buddy's doing it with no due diligence, if he's doing it, I'm going to do it too. No due diligence. And yet cost their investors and customers billions and billions of dollars. Folks were throwing away money at this thing like it was a lottery. And guess what? Bam! People lost money. These guys went to jail. His girlfriend went to jail. And so you ask yourself a question, why? Why do people in the world of savings and investment or online gurus, supposedly, cause people to lose money or go astray? Because too many of us look and chase wealth. We're so excited about that thing. That, by the way, it's our human nature. Instead of learning the laws of wealth, people just chase the look of being wealthy. See, the Bible warns us, fast money fades. But wisdom builds long-term success. So do you want money fast and have the potential to lose it because it was not built on a solid financial foundation? Or do you want to have delayed gratification and next thing you know, bam, it pops. And that is sustainable and that is something that's scalable and something that you have confidence in, because guess what is consistent over your entire life? You know what's consistent over your entire life? Bills. Bills is consistent your entire life. Do you want to know what needs to be more consistent? Your ability to control and bring in income. Now, let me flip it. Let me give you a positive case study. Look at somebody like John Hope Bryant. I follow this guy. About 80% of the stuff he talks about, I agree with. 20% of stuff I don't. Nonetheless, how do you expect to be in business or be in the world that you 100% agree with somebody all the time? Even my own mentor, Patrick Dave, there's things that I disagree with him on. Things like how our kids are supposed to be a reflection of the parents, and the parent is judged by how the kids turn out. Patrick and I disagree on that. Doesn't mean that we're not close as business partners and friends. We just agree on, listen, your kids are going to go out there and act a fool regardless if you give them the right tools, the right upbringing, the right neighborhood, the right private school. Kids can act a fool if they want to act a fool. Why? Because they're human. But John Hope Bryant, founder of Operation Hope, teaches financial literacy, builds businesses, and helps our people understand credit and wealth. See, he didn't chase clout. He comes from nothing too as well. He comes from the streets. He comes from the dirt. But instead of chasing clout, he chased two things: wisdom and knowledge. And today, one of the most successful real estate investors out there. So ask yourself this question: are you falling for the hype, or are you walking in wisdom? Second thing here's the reason why people get got: because they're financially ignorant. They're financially illiterate. Let's talk about something real. 74% of people never get a financial education. That means that most of us are learning about money the hard way. Think about it in the comment section below. How have you learned about money? The easy way through wisdom, or the hard way through personal experience? Wisdom or personal experience? I want to know. Put it in the comment section below. I want to know how many of you have learned about money and the positive lessons of money, sadly, through the hard way, by losing money, getting charged high interest rate, having a poor credit score, not understanding the details of what you signed, and next thing you know, they're bill collectors after because you can't keep up with the payments. By the way, that was me at one point, financially illiterate. Proverbs 22 verse 6 says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. But if nobody's training us up in financial literacy, if nobody's training us up on entrepreneurial wisdom, if nobody's training us up on case studies, and nobody's training us up on the do's and don'ts of going to business for yourself, because a lot of us are trained to do what? Get a job. The multicultural Black and brown community, the majority of us, we're trained to get a job, get an education, be secure for the rest of the life, get your master's, get your PhD. That's the pathway to financial security, which I see greatly crumbling. However, a lot of people still buy into that alphabet soup after the last name means that they're more credible and confident. But yet the bank account says everything opposite. I don't need to say this. Many of you have seen this already, that the Black and brown community are some of the worst income earners in America. Let me say that one more time. Here's a graph. The Black and brown community are some of the worst income earners in America. But when it comes to spending money, some of the biggest spenders in America. So it's not like we don't have economic power. We do, but it's to consume. It's not saving and investing, because some of the worst savers and investors in America is the Black and brown community. Purpose of this YouTube channel, 7 Figure Squad, is make sure we change that paradigm and transform the way people are thinking about money, so it transform the way you see money. Because it transforms the way they see money, you can transform the way they act about money. Change the way they act about money, and we can change the results that people are getting in their life. Let me tell you about Damon John, founder of FUBU, For Us, By Us. Now, before he became a multi-millionaire in Shark Tank, this dude was just a kid from Queens hustling to make ends meet. He didn't have a trust fund. He had a sewing machine and a dream, was selling T-shirts out of the trunk of his car in the boroughs of New York. He got turned down by 27 banks before his mother took home a home equity line of credit to fund and finance his dream. He got a big break, though, however, when LL Cool J was wearing his brand, his hat, the FUBU hat, even though it's for a jeans commercial, and nobody caught it. And that was his big break. The For Us, By Us brand got a big break. Because why? Damon John was diligent in his work. But here's what really made him different. He didn't take out massive loans. He didn't jump into every flashy opportunity. Matter of fact, you see him on Shark Tank, he's one of the first people to say, listen, because I don't understand it, I'm out. He's not chasing it. I had an opportunity to interview him at his house, beautiful place in New York. He's got land, great guy, loves the veteran community. But he started small, invested every dollar, reinvested every dollar, and stayed patient. See, a lot of people, when it comes to money, they want get rich quick now. They want to live off their business right away. They want to live off their investments right away. They don't have the financial wherewithal or the discipline to save money and put that money away. They want to spend, they get $1, they want to spend $1.50, because the banking system and the credit system allows people to go into debt for the bank's benefit, not for our benefit. All right, ask yourself this question. How much interest have you paid in your credit cards, your car financing, your mortgage on your house? How much, your student loans, how much money, add it up, how much money have you been paying out versus how much interest have you been collecting? So most people stay broke because they pay out interest instead of collecting interest. And that right there, because we pay out interest because we're spending more money than we have. because we don't invoke this thing called discipline and delayed gratification. Now, David John, being a business mogul, he still lives by those same principles that a man said that money is a great slave, but a horrible master. So the question is, are you mastering money or is money mastering you? Put it in the comment section. If you want to master money, put it in the comment section. I am mastering money. Put that affirmation out there if you that's your life that you want to be living. I am mastering my money. Third thing, reason why people are finding themselves in shaky ground is because people don't know how to win in a shaky economy. People don't know how to win when there's a recession. By the way, how many guys believe in seasons? There's spring, there's summer, there's fall, there's winter. Folks, we're about to go through another winter. And no matter how hard you work in the winter, for example, know how hard you plant in the winter, know how hard you work in the winter, things just don't grow in the winter. But if you're willing to store up and get ready for a move when spring comes around, and you start planting seeds in the springtime, guess what happens? Whatever seed you plant has a higher tendency to grow. That's what happens after a recession. Let me tell you about Gloria Estefan. Gloria Estefan, many of you know her. She is a beautiful singer. She's a businesswoman. And when she made her money in music, she didn't blow it on cars and mansions. She invested. She put her money into hotels, real estate, and other businesses so that even if the music industry crashed or her desire to sing on stage or go touring was not there anymore, she would still be making money and she's still getting paid. You know, the economy today is crazy. Inflation, interest rates, stock market streams, real estate. I was just talking to a guy this morning and how crazy he's a big real estate investor, how crazy some of his real estate clients are feeling right now. And folks don't know whether to invest, save, or just pray their rent doesn't go up next month, or just pray that their real estate tax don't go up next month, or just pray that their property and casualty insurance doesn't go up, homeowners insurance doesn't go up next month. But guess what? God already told us how to handle these type of situations in Ecclesiastes. Let me read you the scripture. Ecclesiastes 11, verse 12 says, invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. So in a way, God is saying, once you got your primary land established, continue to grow in another land, and then continue to grow in another land. It doesn't say stop farming. But when people say that, this is, man, does that mean multiple streams of income? No, it means to continue to either expand with what you know or deepen with people with what you know. Sometimes people get wrapped up in them. I need to have multiple streams of millionaires. I have multiple streams of income. False. Now, later on, they'll have multiple streams of income, but they found out how to make the first few 4, 5, 6 million in one industry first because they're getting good at it. Because in order for you to get good at something, it's take you a minute to get good at something. The problem is people sometimes, they zigzag. They ping, they go here to go there. They never get good at something. Once it starts getting hard, they start something else. Or they're at a company, it starts getting hard, you can go to someone else. How many people have you seen go from church to church to church or relationship to relationship to relationship? Because now when you really start getting good at something, that's when the real work starts to happen. Then the real compounding effects of the efforts are about to begin. But before it even happens, what people do, they quit. They say it's too hard. This is it. My man Darren was asking me a question at the Target today, but what do you do for hobbies? You know what I love doing for hobbies? I love to win in business. I love to hang out with my friends and family at the office, and I can show them how to improve their craft, to see them financially independent, see them paying off their debt. That's my hobby, to teach my kids how to save and invest and buy stocks and to teach them business. 2 young girls in my office yesterday, these 2 girls came up to about 10 years old and 8 years old. They bought iPhone covers and they bedazzled it. And Matt, would you buy my product? I said, this is a great product. I looked at it, what a great product. Not only am I going to pay you for your product, but I'm going to invest a little capital above and beyond what you are charging because I want to invest in your business. I want you to advance what you're doing because I want you to continue to create these things. And sometimes people don't have enough cash and capital to buy raw materials they need to create the product. And to these young girls, I want to make sure I isn't not only the customer, but I want to teach them too as well that when you are an entrepreneur, you don't only buy from people that are around you, but you invest in people around you. That's the lesson I wanted to share with them. But let me ask you this question. Are you gambling with your future? Are you gambling with your future? Are you really setting yourself and understanding the lessons to create generational wealth? So let me give you 3 practical ways to make sure you make some power moves, to make sure you avoid some of the craziness in this shaky economy, to make sure that no matter what happens in a White House, the most important thing what goes on in your house. And so therefore, you're not pulled to the side by some course or online guru that's trying to sell you something. Next thing you know, he sells your course, and that's all he really did. Because when you buy those things, not everybody, but by the way, I got 0 courses to sell you, if you want to know. I got nothing to sell you, but maybe a ticket to my event. We have an event called Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey we're put together. Matter of fact, I'm holding up a work that we're doing here. We have a mastermind and networking event I hold every quarter that I bring people together outside of people within my company just to show them how to adopt certain successful business practices that we built to create a company called PHP Agency from nothing to having a $300 million exit in June of 2022. But here's some practical takeaways that you guys can implement. Number 1, Get wise counsel. Get smart people around you. So for example, we talk about faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. And on Sundays, football. Okay. For me, these are the 5 areas in my life that I want to improve. And how lucky it is it for you maybe to find somebody that is a mentor in maybe 2 or 3 or 4 key areas. For example, Patrick McDavid for me is a mentor in 3 or 4 areas of my life. How rare that is. But that's what happens when you keep recruiting and finding mentors that can coach you and teach you and mentor you in many different ways and hold themselves accountable to the mentorship. By the way, I asked Damon John, which is where I disagree with him. I said, Damon John, do you think mentors should be held accountable to their advice that they're given? He said, no. I said, why wouldn't you think they're not held accountable to their guidance and advice? They're mentoring and coaching you in a specific way, right? Yeah. Well, if they're implementing it and they're not getting any results, you as a mentor should be held accountable because you've helped them and guided them in a way that didn't help, assuming they did the work. They did the work, they did effort, but they didn't get the results. Maybe you tweak your mentorship. That's what we do at PHP Agency. That we're just not people that are sitting behind an ivory tower or sitting behind a desk. We're in the trenches with our guys. So number 1, make sure you find wise counsel. Proverbs 11, verse 14 says, when there is no guidance, people fail. But in an abundance of counselors, there is safety. Oftentimes people come to me thinking about a decision they're making, and I realize they're not coming to me to process an idea or a decision. They've made it already. And I can't really help them. Every time I'm doing something big in my life, something big in business, I bring it to PBD. Hey, PBD, I'm thinking about doing this. Here's why I'm doing this. And here's 2, 3, 4 different ways I think about incorporating. And here's the outcome I'm looking. What do you think about this move? What do you think about this power move? Is it the right timing? Do I have the right people to do it? For example, we're about to move to Texas a long time ago before we did. I processed with PBD. Sapaula's wrong timing. Okay. I hate being in the cold, but I'll listen to your coaching, your time. I understand. Wrong timing. We don't have enough leaders built to run our offices yet. We were in Chicago. Pause. Anyway, make a long story short, right time, because we came here in Dallas at 21. Best timing. My guys are back in Chicago, Morrison, Torrey, Hansberry. They increased their income. They went from $150,000 income to now well over $550,000 income. Right timing for us to go, because now we built them, so therefore they can learn how to run their business, run our office location in the Oak Brook Terrace area in Chicago. Same to our guys, Jasmine Ellis Waz, they'd relocate from Chicago to build in Atlanta, but had it not, we stayed there for that time, who knows if they would have been equipped or had enough seasoning to make sure that these moves that they were making was going to be fruitful when they decided to step out in their own endeavors. So it was right timing. Why? Because I processed it through PBD. Another thing I was about to process PBD to make a knucklehead move. I was about to wrap my Rolls Royce in green chrome. Let's put the picture up here. In green chrome. And I was having lunch with PBD. He's like, Sapaula, what are you doing? I said, the guy's here to pick up my Rolls Royce because we're going to wrap it in chrome green. He says, what? He said, listen, Sapaula, this is your car. Do what you want to do. But would you like feedback? I said, of course I like feedback, PBD. What do you think? Sapaula, Rolls Royce are 2 colors, black or white. Kings and queens drive in Rolls Royce. So question for you. Do you want to pull up to a meeting? Do you want to pull up to an event? Do you want to look like a king or a queen with your wife in there, right? You want to look like kings and queens? Or do you want to look like party boy in a green Rolls Royce? I said, king, queen it is. With my wife and I in that car. King, queen, absolutely. Well, it's either black or white. I'm so glad I didn't wrap my Rolls Royce in chrome green. But asking people with a track record of success, that's another thing. You got to ask people that have a track record of success. If somebody's trying to sell you the course, somebody's trying to sell you their mentorship, somebody's selling you consulting, what's your track record of success? It's one thing to have fruit in your work, but it's another thing to have people around you be fruitful. So if you're coaching and teaching somebody, right, you make sure that you've duplicated your system and process to multiple people around you. Otherwise, you got ways to go before you start charging courses or starting events. The second thing, power move, is to invest heavily in financial education, financial literacy. Read books, watch podcasts, learn the damn money game. Sit down with a CPA or enrolled agent, tax attorney, take them out to lunch, ask them what I need to know about tax deductions and some loopholes there that I don't know about. Maybe you need to host an event with them. Maybe there's a joint marketing continuing education event with them. You can teach your personal craft and they come along too as well to combine with you, collab with you, and let collaboration, you get to learn about them, they can learn about you, and you guys grow together. I've done that with my estate planning attorney, Emeritus Bot. I'm about to do this right now with Cedric, who was here on a podcast here with Waka Flocka. We're doing an event here on Thursday, and we're going to be surrounded with some phenomenal people that have been successful in their business and financial endeavors, and we're hosting a panel. We're showing people the do's and don'ts. That is investing in education. Now, would I spend $8,000 on a 3-day course from a proven mentor? 100%. Douglas Andrew was here in a previous podcast. You saw Douglas Andrew. If I didn't spend $8,000 at his 3-day event in Utah in 2005, who knows where my career would have been? Worse, how screwed my clients would have been because we were structuring insurance policies the right way for retirement planning and early mortgage payoff with real estate, or to invest in real estate through instant banking, those type of things. There's so many people, by the way, there's so many people out, speaking of infinite banking, there's so many people out there who say, I do infinite banking, this and this, that with insurance, and they have zero experience. And they're trying to do it by themselves because they're watching somebody's video. What? Instead of actually having a mentor. By the way, that puts a black eye in the insurance industry. So if you're about to do something with somebody, ask them, what year is your practical experience? Give them some case studies. How much financial education are you individually? Because at the end of the day, if you make a bad financial decision, it's that person, the course you bought from's fault. It's your fault. It was your own human laziness or desire to get rich quick. It made you rush into financial decision that you're not benefiting from, you're not fruitful from, that you lost money. Last but not least, diversify and stay patient. Don't rush it. Make your money in one industry first before you start multiple streams of income type mindset. Make your millions first in one industry, with one company, your company, with one initiative. Don't rush wealth. Build it the right way, just like it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 12, it says this. Verse 2, it says this. Divide your gifts among many, for you do not know what risks may lie ahead. And by the way, I like what it also says in verse 4. If you want to wait for perfect conditions, you will never get anything done. If you're waiting for the perfect time to start that business, you're waiting for a perfect time to start paying off your debt. If you want to wait for that perfect time, start saving and investing, guess what? Stop waiting for the damn perfect time. It's never going to come. Next thing you know, you blink, you're 30. Next thing you blink, you're 40. Next thing you blink, you're 60, 70, 80 years old. And you've saved nothing. You've done nothing for your entire life because you're procrastinating, waiting for the right time. Listen, God didn't create you to struggle forever. And God called you to be a blessing. He called you to build. God called you to leave a legacy. And by the way, legacy is more in generational wealth, is more than just a financial inheritance, a financial remembrance. But that starts with you making the right money moves today. If this video makes sense to you, please consider leaving your biggest takeaway at the bottom here. Was it getting wise counsel? Was it getting financial education? Was it making sure you stay patient, you don't rush the process? Because I've found that the way to get rich and wealthy is a slow, steady, predictable, scalable way. A lot of people make boom, money very quickly, and they fall. That being said, you haven't noticed already. If you've gotten value from this video, please consider hitting subscribe, hit like, and share this with people that you feel would benefit from this content. With that being said, guys, from Dallas, Texas, I'm Money Smart Guy. We'll see you next Sunday. Till we meet again. Continue to live smart, continue to love smart, and be money smart today.